here at Miss Francine Wint's house. We see that there's a spot repair. It is here we've got storm damage shingle outlined in chalk so you can see it a little bit easier. If you look around, you can see that there looks like there was another previous repair right here. Had mechanical damage surrounding it. So we're going to do a good faith attempt to see if we can spot repair one shingle. So I'm going to show you the tools that I'll be using today. The first one is going to be that roof snake, that all-in-one tool. Second one's going to be a precision nail puller. I've got hammer and nails. So I'm going to be using the flat end of this to break the seals to determine what shingle this is. That's a far left shingle. So our 3 tabs in this one shingle, it consists of these 3. Now we do go up all the way to the second course, which means this one's affected as well. Here's the course of shingles that we're going to be replacing, or the tabs that we're going to be replacing on the one shingle. So I'm just kind of outline the area for you. All right. So these are all the shingles that are going to have to be moved in order for the nails to be dug out. So I'm just going to use the flat end of this roof snake to loosen up the seals just as carefully as possible, just enough to be able to get the job done. Most repair guys aren't going to be as careful as I will be in this video, as we really want to give this a good shot at a spot repair. All right, so let's go ahead and get an overview of just like the kind of general area that we're working with today, so that you guys can see a good before, so we have a good gauge of what everything looks like prior to digging any nails out or anything like that. All right. All right, so we're gonna start on this first shingle right here. I'm gonna lift it just slightly, just enough to be able to dig this one nail out. It's holding this first shingle into place. It's sunk in there pretty deep, so I just want to be able to do enough just to grab it. All right. Oh, well, that's not good. You can see the stress line up near the top of this shingle. You can see here where that fiberglass matting, if you want to get close and follow my fingers so you can see it pretty clearly on camera, you can see where that fiberglass matting is actually cracked and broken. Right? We're going to the next one. It's going to go before that. You can kind of see it waving in the wind since the sealant's gone. It's pretty windy up here today. All right, we just want to be as careful as we can. Once again, just lifting it slightly, just enough to be able to get that nail out. Yep, and right up here at the stress point, you guys can see that during, just where that shingle's got that little bit of stress on it from digging that nail out. You can see where that fiberglass matting is starting to crack. It's not a good sign. With these 2 shingles, it seems to be kind of a common theme on this roof, especially with that last attempt at repair that was done down there. Let's go ahead and look. If you notice the angle of degrees I'm lifting these shingles, it's not very high, but let's go ahead and get that looked at as far as just an up close, right? So you guys can see where that fiberglass matting is actually broken. All right, let's go on to the next one. Let's get it before that. It's getting steeper and steeper up here. All right. It's a little windy too. All right. All right, you guys got the before that. Here's the during. This will be a common theme. Let's go ahead and dig that nail out. Yes, you can see I'm being pretty careful here. Let's get a little tap action going. You guys can see here, if you follow my finger, you can see where that fiberglass matting is actually broken on it, right? All right, let's go on to the next one. I'm gonna be lifting just barely slightly, just enough to be able to work around to get that nail out. And you can see the granules are just raining off of it at that point of stress. Being pretty careful here on the roof. All right, let's give it a couple taps, just like they do in a brittle test. And you can see up here where that shingle is actually cracked. The fiberglass matting is actually broken and it's missing granules up there. All right, now we're gonna be going on to the, we can start on this, well, we can start on that side, that's okay. Let's get up close to this. All right. We just want to be able to dig the nails out. Yep, you guys got the before, here's the during. We got 1, there's 2 nails in this one. Just want to be able to dig those out. Lifting barely slightly. All right, so we got 1, and this one's stubborn. Let's get that. You notice the angle, look at the side. I'm not lifting the shingle very high, only about 30 degrees, right? let's get a good tap, and you can see here, if you follow my finger all the way across, you can see where that fiberglass matting's actually broken on it now. All right, as we go on to the next one, let's get a good before that. All right, you guys have a before. All right, let's lift it just a little bit, just to be able to dig that nail out. All right, grabbed it. Just lift it slightly. Give it a couple taps like you're doing a brittle test. And you can see here along the top portion of the shingle where that stress point was, where that shingle fiberglass matting is actually cracked. It is a common theme here. A little bit less so on that one. Let's go on to the next one. All right, let's just see the condition of that. Lift it just slightly. Be able to dig that nail out. All right, and pull the nail out. Let's give it a couple taps. You guys can see here. Just follow my finger all the way up at the top. You can see where that fiberglass matting is actually broken on all 7 of these shingles. Now we're just going to remove this old shingle that should just slide right out, and we're out with the old and in with the new. But before I do that, since there was wind damage there, what I want to do is just do a visual underlayment inspection. And if you bring the camera down here, you can kind of see where that wind-driven rain has made this area and this underlayment swell up. It's actually holding moisture now, right? So really the underlayment's got wind-driven rain that affected it as well. The underlayment needs to be replaced. But since this is just a spot repair, what we're going to do is we're going to leave that the way that it is, even though that is a concern and cause of things like mold and mildew. It needs to be replaced if left. We're just doing what the scope of work says. So we're just going to press this shingle back into place. And I'm going to grab my my roof nail installer, the roof snake. I'm going to grab not the cap nails, we don't need those. We need the regular nails. All right, grab about 8 or 9 of these. And I'm gonna be moving in this section, so try to keep up with me. I don't wanna take a bunch of your time. All right, we're just gonna lift slightly, just enough to be able to get that tool in there. Start the nail off, and then lift it and finish it off with the tool. All right. Same thing on the second one. We're going right over here to the second nail on the first course. And drive it home. We go on to the next one. All right, we're gonna drive it home. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, I need those nails. I can't be dropping them. Drive it home. Notice I'm keeping my angle of lifting in the shingles at about 30 degrees, not going above 45, not cranking back, not being excessively rough. There were 2 nails right here in this section. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off, drive it home. All right. And a Hail Mary for some more nails. Bear with me, guys. Oh yeah. All right, that should be enough. All right, as we're going on to the second one, on the second course, remember there were 2 nails here. Wherever I pull the nail out, I'm putting a nail back in. We'll drive it home flush with the shingle. All right, on to the next one. Everywhere I pull the nail out, I put the nail back in. You can see here where fiberglass matting on each one of these shingles is cracked. It's losing granules at the point of stress. All right, we want to drive it home. All right, and that was the last nail in the second course. So looking at this as a broad view after the fact, we did switch out the 1 damaged shingle like it asked for in the scope of work. A couple things I want to point out is we traded 1 damaged shingle for 7 damaged shingle, this being the cause of the repair, these 7 right here. So if I was doing this spot repair for somebody, they asked me to come do a repair, I would literally have to keep going down to the ground to grab another shingle because this one is damaged and that one, and then so on and so forth as this roof, is spot repaired. More and more shingles are going to be damaged. It does more harm than good. As a contractor, we can't warrant something like this. We would ask that farmers wouldn't put their name on it. One other thing that I do want to mention is that underlayment is holding moisture now. It really needs to be replaced as well, as it has suffered damage from wind-driven rain. As a contractor, we can't warrant anything like this. The next 15-mile-an-hour wind that comes by, these shingles are going to fly off.
review of that, we're done.